Hello everyone, and welcome to a quarterly update of my planner lineup. See what's happening, let's do a quick little check-in, see what's working, what is going to be not switched out but just kind of neglected, and how it's going to shift moving forward. So I thought that we would kind of just go over everything of what has been working in the past like 4 months, and yeah, just kind of give you guys a lowdown. So if you're new here and you've never met me, my name is Meshi. We chat a few times a week on this channel and we go into anything, everything, minimalist planning, journaling, stationery, inks, all the things. So if you love all of those things and you wanted to kind of find a way to not get into consumerism, you would probably enjoy it here. Now, without further ado, why don't we just get started somewhere? I'm not sure where. So as you can tell, in case you haven't seen my 2024 lineup, I will just show you the lineup that I am currently using for this year. First, we have the Hobonichi Weeks. This is brand new to me. This is the Midori hibino. This is in like this light blue color. Then I also have a personal size ring planner. And I don't know what's going on here, but we'll have to kind of check that out. So this is in a personalized size 6 ring planner. It's more set up as like a minimalist planner. And I also have the formerly known Hobonichi cousin, but this is a Hobonichi Hon. It's the same size as the cousin, but more in a booklet format. So we'll go over each of them of what's happening with this. This does not include any of my actual journals that I'm currently using. I'm not including journals right now, only because I really just wanted to focus more on planners. Maybe in part 2, if you guys wanted to see the journal side of things, including notebooks and things like that, just let me know in the comment section and I would love to film that for you. I don't know, I find that with journals, it's one of those things where, because it becomes so personal, you may or may not need an update. I don't know, like, just let me know if you guys want to see it. I'm happy to do it. Okay, let's begin first with the 2 superstars that are like by far the smallest planners that I have ever owned. And first up is the Hobonichi Weeks. Now, honestly, like, I think the Hobonichi Weeks kind of stole my heart back around like midway through last year, where I really started to use it more extensively. It has now become sort of like my work planner slash almost like a catch-all of everything. So it's a happy medium between this and the Midori planner. I'm definitely using the little sticky notes. I really love using the monthly for planning out videos. I also like that I can add like really minimalist decor and still keep it very, very functional. It doesn't feel as, I don't want to say it feels daunting when I was using the common planner, but that I definitely felt that pressure to like not over decorate it, but I just felt that pressure to constantly decorate it and keep it a certain aesthetic. Whereas here, in some months, I haven't actually added much of a decor to it at all. Like, I'm keeping it very minimal, which really works for me. And for the most part, I'm mainly just keeping track of like paydays, and I'm adding like video ideas, but I also started adding goals for both business and for personal. Here's more of a zoomed in version so you can see now that we're in frame. So I love the little kits that I'm actually currently using. I'm getting them from the Modern Journaler, and I find that most of these kits actually go a really long way to decorate both this and the hibino as well as the Hobonichi cousin. So it's kind of nice when I have enough decoration to kind of keep my months consistent but yet different. So it's kind of working for me. Like, I love that the April month was all about like modern art. Then last month was all about welcoming spring and getting outside and that sort of thing. Before that, it was modern ballet. And then before that, it was just more like a minimalistic, like floral, like let's love life type of vibe. I haven't actually done May just yet. For now, I just started to just plan out the month. So I haven't actually gone that far ahead. Now, as far as the weeks are concerned, I'm pretty consistent with how I set up my weeks. I didn't start using it until about January. I do use the previous month sometimes for trying out like different like weekly layouts and that sort of thing. But for the most part, I'm keeping it fairly consistent in my layout. Like there's one thicker section here on the left hand side. Then I either keep track of meals or events. Currently I'm keeping track of basically all of my like workouts and things like that. Then I always have like some sort of a word or phrase that I kind of like to highlight, and which has actually become like one of my favorite parts in the Hobonichi Weeks, because it just adds sort of an attitude kind of like it adds sort of a vibe as to what we're kind of going through for the week. And then after that I just set up in like 4 sections the remainder of the week, and that's pretty consistent week after week. I just kind of change up the decor and I change up the colors, obviously. So quick little flip through here. I'm not going to do like a full flip through of everything because we're going to be here for a while, but some of my recent weeks. So this is last week for April. And sometimes I keep my layouts really, really minimal when there's barely anything going on. And other times I really like adding a bit more color. So having like the different fountain pens, it just gives me that freedom to do that. And it's okay if I have brighter colors. So that has been working out really well for me so far. And that brings me to next week, which I haven't actually planned out. And then the back section, I wasn't really using it all that much last year. And then about midway through the year, I started using the note section. And that, I think, sort of changed my relationship to how I feel about the Hobonichi Weeks. Because now I'm keeping track of a lot more, in my opinion. It definitely competes with the Midori because of the space allocation and how much space is allotted and what I can use it for. I keep the decor fairly minimal. Sometimes I don't actually add any decor, but it's really nice. Like the space allocation here is working really well for me, and I find that I can use this as like a reference point, almost like a commonplace planner, but it's small enough and compact enough that I don't actually have to worry about like carrying around like a bulkier planner. So that's it about the Hobonichi Weeks. You guys already know I'm a favorite, like I love this planner. It's not my main planner anymore, but that doesn't mean that it's any less valuable. This guy is brand new to me, and it's quickly growing on me as to how I'm using it. I think I'm still kind of finding my groove with it. Right now, I definitely have sort of that, you know, when you have like a new planner and then you feel like obligated to fill it out, and you kind of force yourself to fill it out for the sake of like, make sure that you stay consistent so that you kind of learn like how you actually enjoy using it. Okay, well, if you don't do that, I 100% do that. So I tend to just kind of keep on a strict regimen of just making sure that everything is filled out so that I can see if this is working for me or if this is more like an overkill. So the beginning of it, like the monthly layouts, is lovely. I love the color of the paper. I love the quality of the paper. So I love a lot about this. It's definitely similar the way I'm planning, and this is really similar to how I'm planning in my Hobonichi Weeks, but the layout is slightly different. As you can tell, it's a little bit shorter, a little bit chunkier. I'm not writing as much, like as you can tell, like for March, I didn't really plan out anything. I definitely like keeping the decor fairly minimal, and then on the sidebar, I can actually add all of the goals and things that I wanted to focus on. And then I started to add like what's happening for the following month, which has been really helpful. Now, as far as the dailies, so it's taking me a minute to figure out like if I like adding all of this ephemera or just keeping it just to stickers only. So I'm definitely playing around with it. If you haven't seen like previous months flip through, you're welcome to kind of check that out. But I'm just going to skip over to the current month just so that we're being a little bit more conscious of your time. So this comes, like this little cut in that I added in, it comes from, again, from Modern Journaler. I started doing that a couple months ago, and here's, let me see if I can find it. Here's the one for March, which I thought was really pretty. I don't think I added anything in for February. I'm gonna have to go and look through and see if I can find like a vellum that I can add in. Oh no, never mind, I did put it in. Here's the vellum for February, which I thought was really pretty, and I don't think I added it in for January, but that's okay. So this has been working really well. Some days I skip it and I definitely feel the guilt. Some days I don't really fill it out all that much, but at least it's decorated. Some days I skip a few days, which is totally fine because I can go back later and add it. So I'm kind of playing around with layouts of how and what pens I like to use. For the most part, I really love using fountain pens, which is always my preferred pen anyway. And usually, as you can tell, like this would be like an ideal layout. So I would have the inbox here, something here, whether it's reflection, ideas, whatever. My agenda kind of goes here of like anything that's happening on my schedule. And then here I kind of divide the page into two, and one section is always sort of like some sort of an observation of just something interesting that happened that day. And then I make note of dinner, and then I do like a daily small little reflection. Now I find that because I do that, that will kind of bring me to my next point of what's happening with the Hobonichi cousin. Because sometimes like it's kind of interchangeable, even though I have little space, but I actually feel like it gives you quite a bit of space to write if that's what you want to do. I do challenge myself. I'm not sure if you can see this close enough, but if you look at the grid, it's tiny. Like the grid structure is very, very small on this planner. And sometimes I feel that I put that pressure on myself to write that small to kind of keep everything within the grid, which is obviously not realistic because then eventually it just becomes like not legible at all. And then after that, I just go back into spacing everything out properly, and then things kind of go back to normal. But overall, like I have to say, like I do really like this little planner. Like the fact that like I'm constantly challenging myself to check in with it daily, it definitely becomes a space where I can not only write down my ideas, I can write down like a full mindset dump if I wanted to keep track of Oracle reading. So it definitely replaces a lot of all of the extra notebooks and commonplace planners, and like the need for me to constantly update the Hobonichi cousin. So it allows me to kind of like keep track of a lot in one place. I don't necessarily keep track of anything financial here, anything like detailed within wellness. So I do feel that I would still need a separate planner for that. But for what I'm using it for, it's really lovely. It's a lovely experience. So this is sort of like almost like an A6 size Hobonichi, but just somehow it's a different experience. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but like the paper quality is different. And I don't know, I interact with this totally differently than the way that I would interact with the Hobonichi, like the A6 size little. I don't think that's a cousin, is it? I think it's a cousin. It's a Hobonichi Techo, not the cousin. The cousin is the large one. But see, like even like the color of the paper is different. And because everything is all gritty, I think the difference is, well, besides there's a lot of differences, but the fact that you get 2 pages versus 1 page per day, and the grid here is larger, whereas the grid here is smaller. So that just kind of gives you the illusion that you can add more information if you wanted to, which I tend to actually end up adding more information as an end result. So overall, I really like it. I have tested out a few different pens with this planner. If you guys want to see like my full thoughts on what's happening with this planner, just again, let me know. I would love to film that review for you. I do end up doing like a monthly like flip through. So I might actually just skip that and just do like an actual review. But I do have this in the lineup of kind of talking about if it's for you or if it's not for you, because I do think that there's going to be a very specific type of person who would really enjoy this, and I don't think that it's going to be for everyone. Okay, moving on. This was kind of a surprise with this planner, because I thought that this would actually be my primary planner, and then everything else would be sort of like a supportive system, and that's not really what it's becoming. It's becoming sort of side shuffled. I don't know if it's because I didn't make much of an effort in getting inserts, or I'm just not spending enough time with this planner. Like I love everything about this, but I will say, and I'm pretty sure that you guys feel the same way too, that whenever I have this planner out, I just interact with this so differently than the way that I feel about like the Midori and the Hobonichi. I definitely feel like everything needs to be a little bit more structured, and I don't write as freely in here. So like I have some inserts that's like weekly reflections and productivity insert. These are from Notiq. I also have these other inserts, and I mean like everything is just so stunning about this. I do have a perpetual calendar in here, and then my weekly. I think this is throwing me off a little bit. So I bought these 1 week per page insert from Notiq, thinking that this would be so great, because I just need to write very minimal things into each week and it's going to be good. But honestly, I do feel like I would much rather prefer in this planner to have a 2-page per week layout, really similar to the Hobonichi Weeks, but just having it in a printed format. And I think because of that, I don't necessarily reach for this very often. As you can tell, I have 1, 2, I guess three weeks of it. I haven't really filled it out much, like for at least 3 weeks out of the entire month of April. And the reason why I don't reach for this is because I feel like I can't really add too much of a detail to this planner, not the way that I would like to. So I might challenge myself and just kind of revamp the inserts, and we might kind of like meet up for a video about that. Again, comment below. Let me know if you want to see that, because I really don't want to bore you with videos that you don't care about. But I mean, it's such a cute, pretty planner. I do have like a little inbox insert here. I do have some health log. I love the half-page insert, and a lot of the times when I want to make like notes like this, I actually just end up filling it with just like these empty grid notes. I also have like this line paper from May Paper Co. And again, just very basic, but when I'm looking at this feels like more like an organized notebook rather than a planner that has all of the information. Again, as I'm telling you this, I'm realizing that I'm the problem. So like, I totally get it. I took out the finance insert completely because I just stopped printing it. Again, issue is I stopped printing my inserts because sometimes I find it to be a pain in the butt to constantly print my own inserts. I know it's lazy and it's an entitled and whatever, but I mean, honestly, if it's not printed, it's probably not going to make it into the planner. That's just sort of how my mind works. Is it correct? I don't know, but that's just how it is. Again, cloth and paper, vellum, and then I do have like a few of these sticky notes. Finally, I figured out a perfect way to actually use them. So like, I do love using the stash that I have, and I want to use it up because like I do resonate with this still. However, I feel like right now we're just sort of like on a standstill where I'm trying to figure out like a certain purpose of like each inserts and the type of, and how I would actually like to use the planner itself. So that's kind of it. Like, I haven't really added too much more. I do have a couple of envelopes here and then some more blank pages. And then at the back, I do have some cash envelopes, which I should actually take out because this is more for business purposes. So I don't know, like it's not getting as much playtime as it could be. So this brings me to the very last one in the lineup. Beyond the fact that like this got a little bit damaged. Oh, so my last little chit chat with you will be about the Hobonichi cousin. It's a Hobonichi Hon. You get it. It's the Hobonichi cousin, but with the hardcover. I like this. I have been using it. I absolutely suck at updating the weeklies. Some weeks are fantastic. Like, I mean, I've been holding it strong from the very beginning of January, and then I know what happens. I mean, like how satisfying is this? And honestly, I think that what I'm going to have to do is for this to be maintained and like continued on as the tradition that it should be, because then here like we go from February all the way up to like towards the end of March. For this to be maintained appropriately and be the happy little planner that I know it can be, I need to make a video about this regularly, which sometimes I forget to kind of create TikToks or Instagram reels about this. But really, if I'm making videos about updating this, it 100% gets updated. So to me, there's that accountability piece that I never touch the weekly layouts. Dailies, I'm significantly better at it. There's only like a few days that I end up skipping where really it just becomes more like just, you know, a dumping ground for stickers. But for the most part, I do create really nice like spreads and I do enjoy it. And, you know, like this speaks to my soul. And especially when I get like really lovely, like journaling kits and journaling supplies, And I mean, like, I'm telling you, I haven't even unboxed this. This is like the latest box from Modern Journaler. There's just so much here. Like, I haven't even looked. I'm scared to even look. Like, I gotta be honest, I'm scared to even look because I know that I'm going to like unleash Pandora's box, which, I mean, again, is this every journaler's and planners, planner lover's dream? 100% it is, because it's like, it feeds the need for like getting new decor each month. So that's kind of where we're at. So skipping over to where we are right now, like, recently I bought like this speaks to my soul. This Abby C PET tape that I just bought recently. If you have the opportunity to, it's just, like perfection. I mean, obviously she knows what she's doing. I really love her style of journaling. But for the most part, it's also like there are days when I'm just like, I just can't be bothered with you. And then I literally just write what's actually happening. This was definitely designed more as a memory keeper. So I'm only like, am I severely behind? Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, I'm 4 days behind, 5 days behind. So I mean, like if I wanted to catch up, I would need to do five updates. I do try my best when there's like, here there's a lot that we skipped. So I'm gonna have to figure something out here, because that kind of saddens my heart when I literally captured absolutely nothing about those days. So I mean, a lot of the times I do go back and kind of like update it so that I do have like a sense of memory of this, like in a longer format. So that's kind of how I'm using this. I can't see myself using this as my main planner. I don't see myself using this for anything else besides memory keeping. And for that, I think just the fact that it's a hardcover book, it's fantastic. Will I use this going into the next year? I have to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know. Like I go back and forth on this, like the size of this. I think that I might actually just downgrade to like a common planner going into next year. I think I will have to like, you know, obviously use it up for this year because we're committed. But I mean, honestly, it doesn't get as much playtime, and I do feel a sense of, just a slight sense of guilt whenever I don't get a chance to update it, you know, the way that I would like to. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with everything. Overall, it's working for me. The months I don't touch, the weeks, they don't get enough playtime. And so like when I'm seeing that I'm only utilizing about maybe 40% or 60% of the planner, I kind of have to reevaluate if that's still the right, if that's still the right book for me. And I don't know, like I might end up repurposing this for a different purpose altogether. I will 100% have to think about it. If you guys have any suggestions or recommendations, please drop your comments in the comment section, because I would love to hear how you shift if you're finding that certain planners or certain journals just don't work for you the way that it was designed to work for you, if that makes sense. I do want to have some sort of an outlet though for memory keeping, especially when it involves the whole family, not just myself. Because realistically speaking, this is sufficient as my memory keeper, and I update this every day, right? So I mean, like at the end of the day, like if I already have that, then what's the point of having, you know, another one, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with this. And that's basically it. So this is basically all I wanted to show you. It's sort of like a 50-50 split between what's working and what's not working. And I think that that's sort of the beauty about journaling, that these are just books, and part of me doesn't want to like struggle through the entire year. Part of me wants to kind of adjust to what makes sense for me and what makes sense for my lifestyle and my you know, my schedule that's available to me, the time that's available to me. So obviously like these planners have to work for me in order for me to want to maintain them. Like I definitely want to have that desire where it's like I'm not just like checking off a checkbox for the sake of checking them off. Like the moment that this becomes a chore is the moment that I know that it's not the right one for me. So this is what I wanted to share with you. I would love to hear from you. Let me know how your planner lineup is working out for you and what is working, what is not working. Share as little or as much as you would like to. I always kind of love doing these little check-ins to see what's happening within the planner community. And maybe you have recommendations that I might not even have thought of that might work a little bit better for me in my circumstances and my time that I have available. This is all I got for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do. You can give it a thumbs up, you can subscribe, you can do all of the things that actually make sense to you. And if you wanted to see more behind the scenes content from me, then you can also take a look at our membership community. I would love to have you within the community. If you have not yet had a chance to join, take a look, see if it's in alignment for you. But in the meanwhile, just keep planning, keep journaling, doing all of the things. And I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Bye.